Hi everybody, my name is Garen Lesher. I am a master's student in sports psychology at John F. Kennedy University, and I am here to talk to you today about the use of imagery in pre-shot routines with golfers. So a pre-shot routine is simply a form of a pre-performance routine that's used by golfers before each shot. And Pre-performance routines have been studied very thoroughly. We can see in this meta-analysis by Driscoll, Copper, and Moran that imagery has been shown to improve athletic performance across many different sports. So this is a universal technique that has been shown to be effective in many different areas. McCann, Levely, and Levely did a quantitative study that was more specific to golfers, and they were looking at the performance on a chipping task, and they implemented a pre-shot routine for these golfers, which helped significantly improve their performance on these chipping tasks. So simply by introducing this idea of a pre-shot routine, these golfers were able to much more effectively complete these shots. Cohn in 1990 noted that imagery is an essential part of a pre-performance routine for many different athletes, and a pre-shot routine is no different. A pre-shot routine is used many times throughout the round, and it's a critical part to any golfer's mental game, and this study shows that imagery is a critical part to that pre-shot routine. So, visualization is one of these really critical concepts to having an effective pre-shot routine for a golfer. Cotterill, Sanders, and Collins did a qualitative study on elite golfers, and they were interviewing them, asking about their pre-performance routines or their pre-shot routines and what elements and what techniques went into those routines. And so they found that while golfers had many different techniques that they use, and each had a different preference. Visualization was one of the few techniques that was consistent through every routine. So every single participant used some form of visualization or imagery as part of their pre-shot routine. And this is really important because we know that every athlete is different and every golfer has a different style and a different way of thinking, but this shows us that visualization is consistently an effective tool for these pre-shot routines, and especially in these elite golfers. Another aspect that is relevant to these elite golfers is the ability to practice and improve their visualization and imagery skills. Cohn, Rotella, and Lloyd did a quantitative study on golfers, and they found that they did not immediately improve from a visualization pre-shot routine, but once given time to practice and perfect that routine, they did eventually start to see those performance increases. So having the ability to practice and improve these skills is critical to having an effective pre-shot routine. Another really interesting study that was done by Milton, Solotkin, Lustig, and Small was a brain scan study that was done on a group of elite golfers. And what these researchers did is they hooked up each participant to a brain scanning machine, and they had them go through their pre-shot routine, and they looked at the different areas that in the brain that were activated during each participant's pre-shot routine, and they looked at how intensely those areas were activated. And what they found is that elite level golfers showed much more brain activity in their visualization systems of the brain compared to a lesser golfer or even a novice golfer. So this shows us that as players improve and their visualization gets better and their brain is more able to visualize, that is correlated with that elite skill level and performance. So we know that pre-shot routines are an effective and important part of playing golf at a high level, and we know that visualization is a very important part of that pre-shot routine. But this still leaves us with the question of what are these elite golfers seeing? What does their visualization during their pre-shot routine look like? So one of the most important parts of a successful visualization component of a pre-shot routine is that it is positive imagery. So Short et al. Did a quantitative study that showed that positive imagery, which means that these athletes are imagining or visualizing a successful completion of the skill rather than an unsuccessful completion. So perhaps they're visualizing a putt going into the cup as opposed to a putt rolling off to the side. So this positive imagery is a very important component to an effective pre-shot routine, that you want to be visualizing success. You want to have a positive perspective during this visualization. So another study that found similar results was Plose, Gentner, and Skinner and Reisberg. And what was different about this study is they used a mixed methods. So they found very similar quantitative results, but they reinforced those with some quantitative data by interviewing the participants after the fact. And what they found is that this visualization pre-shot routine, not only did it improve performance, but it improved the player's perception of their ability to complete the task, or essentially to increase their confidence to perform a successful shot. So that's a really huge deal if we can use this routine to not only improve performance, but improve confidence and an athlete's perception of their ability. It's going to just be a cycle of positivity, and good things are going to happen. Another really great benefit of this visualization in a pre-shot routine is that it helps with attentional control. So Bernier, Caudron, Lignot, and Fournier did a qualitative study, and they found that imagery was able to help golfers keep their focus on the task of performing a shot and keep their focus off of any potential distractions. So this pre-shot routine and visualizing a positive result is keeping their focus where it needs to be and not letting them get caught off guard or distracted. Another very interesting idea, and I came across a study by Smith and Holmes, and what they did was they were using video and audio simulation of a putting task to show that it would help improve performance on that task. And this study was looking more at an imagery program to be done outside of performance, so on downtime, off time, during practice. And while they showed that this did increase the performance on the putting tasks, I would hypothesize that this is maybe due to the fact that practicing, visualizing, practicing their imagery skills would help them to better visualize their shot during a pre-shot routine. So I think going forward, this would be a really interesting thing to look at in future research, is how does an off-time imagery program affect a golfer's ability to visualize a shot in the middle of a round and during that pre-shot routine? Because we know that this is really important to a successful performance. So if we can figure out how to improve that outside of just practicing in rounds, that's going to be a really big benefit and something that we can really take advantage of. Additionally, going forward with this research, I think that mixed method studies are going to be the most beneficial. I kind of touched on this point earlier, but it's a very unique, personal thing, this pre-shot routine. Every golfer has their own kind of style and their own things that they like to use. We know from quantitative studies that visualization is across the board very powerful and very effective, but how each golfer visualizes, uses that visualization, thinks about that visualization is very different. So I think that qualitative data will also help reinforce the findings that quantitative studies have found, and then also just help us understand how we can better use these techniques with our athletes in the real world. How can we take these concepts and apply it to a certain athlete who might not work the same as who was in the study? So these pre-shot routines are critical to a quality performance, and using visualization as a part of that pre-shot routine is also very, very critical to making it effective. I just want to thank you all for your attention, and I hope that you enjoyed it.